In this video, I'm going to break down the 4 types of entrepreneurs in a way that no other coach has done, and I've generated $3 million over the last 3 years helping coaches and content creators scale to $1 million a year. I've been in person and met Alex Hormozi 4 or 5 times. I've won the school games twice. I've helped 8 clients win the school games. I've helped people like Daniel Coffeen scale to $150,000 a month, worked with amazing people like Ted Carr, and in this video, I'm gonna break down things that nobody's broken down before. So there are 4 types of entrepreneurs, and you want to know which one you are so you can avoid making the mistakes that those entrepreneurs make. Number 1 is the simple psyche entrepreneur. Now, imagine a pool. If you drop an M in the pool, and the M can stand for money or manifestation, if you drop an M in a pool, you're going to be able to see that M as you drop it. It's not going to stand up straight because it's going to hit the tiles and it's going to fall on its side, but you can easily see it. That is a representation of a simple psyche, somebody who hasn't had a lot of things happen to them in their life, and so there's not a lot of adverse programming or extra programming, and it's going to be very easy for them to learn new things and find success extremely quickly. Now, there are tons of people that I've met in the space like this who are multi-millionaires. These types of people are going to make money extremely quickly, find success extremely quickly, and be able to compound results over an extended period of time and make buku bucks. They are the people who are finding success early. Now, the second type is the complex latent. Now, if you are complex latent, you probably don't know you're complex, right? Or maybe you have an inkling that you're complex, or maybe you know you're complex, but to the external, to the outside world, you just look like a simple psyche. So if somebody were to look at you, let's give an example of a pond. If somebody were to look at you on the surface, you'd be completely clear, pristine, beautiful. But what happens with a complex latent psyche is when you go to drop that M in, boosh, it stirs up. It actually turns out that it was a stagnant pond and it hadn't been touched, and so it looked clean, but actually it was very, very dirty and there was a lot of stuff in there that needs to be cleaned out. So when you touch it, it becomes a complex, unresolved psyche. Now, when you have a complex, unresolved psyche, you're looking at the pond and there's dirt and everything's going everywhere. Maybe there's a bunch of beetles in it, right? And it's going to be really difficult to see that M in the complex unresolved. It's going to be very difficult to make that money or do any manifestation. Now, this is a representation of somebody who has had a complex life, a complex upbringing. You've had maybe some traumatic happenings to you, or you've been in some extraordinary circumstances or an environment that has changed how you see things. And so when you try and take on new information, you actually have battling parts of yourself that make it very difficult for you to take the information and move with it. Now, these types of people are going to be really, really good at being diligent and working hard and grinding, because most likely they're trying to move away from the pain that they experienced. And they don't want to be stirred up, but they are stirred up. And when you're in this stirred up state, other people can see it, but it can be misconstrued as ambition or urgency or grind, right? Because in this hustle culture, we're looking for grind and ambition and less of pain and unresolved complex trauma, right? So if you're somebody like this, you're most likely knowing exactly what I'm saying right now and going, yeah, that's fair. That's what I'm doing. Okay, so if you're that type of person, cool. It's going to be difficult for you, much more difficult than somebody who has a simple psyche to find success for a prolonged period of time, because you have battling parts of yourself. So even for myself, this has happened to me. I've made $500,000 in under a year time span, and the unresolved parts of myself, some parts of me felt undeserving, some parts of me felt shame, some parts of me felt guilt, and those parts were at odds with the parts that were excited, and I ended up losing that money because I wasn't all oriented towards the identity of somebody who deserved $500,000. Somebody with this simple psyche is going to take that money, be able to hold it, be able to be fine with it, and take on that persona of someone with $500,000. So if you are somebody with a complex, unresolved psyche, be very, very cautious of the cycles of up, down, up, down, up, down. Until it is resolved, you are not going to be able to, or it's going to be very difficult for you to hold that and sit with it and maintain it over an extended period of time like a simple psyche. So what's the solution, right? Because you're still complex, you're never going to be simple. That's going to be the 4th example. Now, the 4th example is complex resolved. So if you look at a pond and let's say it's still swirled up and it's nasty, well, now you put your gloves on, right? And you start going in and scooping out all the dirt and the beetles, all the nasty stuff that's in there, and doing the work, right? Cleaning out the pond. And then, you know what you even do? You see that the pond has been stagnant, and you go find a rock and you open it up, and now you've restored flow. And your pond is actually turning into this beautiful river, and now it's moving. And what's going to happen is all that sediment is going to go to the bottom as the water washes over it, and it's going to clear up because it's moving. Now, if you drop an M in now, you're going to see it, right? You're going to actually see it, and with the water, it's going to whoop, and then slide right into the gravel, into the sediment, and it's going to stand upright. So that's a representation of the manifestation or the money coming in easily and visibly and on a foundation that can handle more flow. And so you'll notice in a pool there's not as much flow, but when you're looking at a pond that turned into a river, there's flow now. There is now flow, and so you're having more energy go through. So the major differences on either side, and no side is right or better, right? The side on the left is a simple psyche. Now they're going to find success much earlier, much more easily, and they're going to be able to compound over time because they got there sooner. Now, if you have a complex psyche and then you resolve it, what's going to happen is you're probably going to have a very difficult time going up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, and then you're going to do the work and you scoop out the beetles, and you're going to have a foundation to explode over a very short period of time and then sustain that and then actually be able to maintain that. And so you can actually end up at the same result, right? You can end up the same result because you got one person going woo, and you got another person going oosh, and you can succeed both ways. So try and take a second, figure out what type you are, and then in the next couple of videos we'll break down exactly how to go about this process of scooping out the beetles and finding success and being the best version of yourself. If you enjoyed, drop a comment, tell me what type you are, and I'll focus on making that video first. Talk to you in the next one. Peace.